Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 4th. Election Day. Have you voted? And now the news. Starting with the shutdown. Welcome to day 35. We are officially tied with the longest shutdown in American history. Who on earth would have also led the country into such a torturous 35-day stretch? Well, it says here, Donald Trump. That may be news to him, though, because sometimes he says things like, no other president before me, or I don't know why no other president has ever done this before. And I'm not kidding. I'm not always totally sure that man knows that he has been president before. Then again, they have not released the results of that cognitive test either, so we also don't know if he can draw hands on a clock. On Monday, after Friday saw two judges ruling that SNAP funds must be released because the 42 million Americans who rely on the program for survival, they were not the ones who decided to shut down the government. Brooke Rollins, the agricultural secretary, announced, quote, "The U.S. Department of Agriculture is complying with the court's order and will fulfill its obligation to expend the full amount of SNAP contingency funds today," end quote. Today? Great. Well, it seems like it's today with an asterisk. The problem is that they later noted in a different statement when they were like, maybe nobody is looking, is that the changes that the states now have to make in order for these benefits to roll out could, quote, take anywhere from a few weeks up to several months. So, you'll get your SNAP benefits, but be patient, people who need this money to survive. The reason, by the way, that these judges ruled that the money needed to be made avail is because the Trump administration had not given a strong enough reason for not making the funds available in the first place. And here's the best part. The administration argued they could not fund SNAP during a shutdown, and the evidence used against them was that every shutdown funded SNAP, including the one that happened during Trump's first term. That is so funny to me. He's not smart enough or self-aware enough to get the joke, but imagine if he could. If he had the ability to be, he would be mortified. Meanwhile, over in the Senate Majority Leader John Thune says based on his tummy, this shutdown may be wrapping up. Quote, "I just think based on sort of my gut of how these things operate, I think we're getting close to an off-ramp here," end quote. So no one worry, John Thune's tum-tum is on the case. And of course, it's election day. Tonight, I'll be watching the returns come in and likely posting on Instagram at Here's What's Happening News, and TikTok is at HWH News. I couldn't get HWH News on Instagram. If you are at HWH News on Instagram, can I have your account? And then, of course, I still don't know what the graphics will look like on YouTube, but I'll try and make it a fancy for you over there. But if you're listening just to the podcast, if you're watching with your ears only, it'll be the same. I'm sorry. I don't know how to make it different for you. I make every episode a fancy. I do my best. In New York, ahead of the election on Monday, Trump tried to put his secretly bruised and we don't get to know why hand on the scales. I know the saying is thumb, but the joke's got to work. And tell voters to vote for Cuomo. Elon Musk did the same, tried to persuade voters to vote for Cuomo. Trump then went on to threaten to stop sending federal funds beyond the minimum requirement to New York City if Mamdani wins the mayoral election. So that's illegal. Obviously, I know that, you know that. He knows that. He knows some things. I'm almost certain. It is illegal. It's an empty threat also. If he tries something, it's going to end up in court. They clearly, though, the big takeaway from him saying that is they see Mamdani as a threat. More than that, they see democracy as a threat. That is why they are working so hard at every possible moment to squash it. I said this yesterday because, well, frankly, I lost track of air dates and election day and all that, and I sort of used my voting speech on the wrong day, but they wouldn't be trying so hard to silence our voices if they didn't matter. Nothing is decided until today. No one decides anything except for voters. Polling doesn't decide anything. Posting on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, TikTok, none of that decides anything. Donald Trump telling people to vote for Cuomo over Mondani, none of that decides anything. Democracy is decided by those who show up. And today is the first big chance that we have to show this fascist, authoritarian dictatorship that perhaps that is their plan for America, but it is not ours. We see these stories all the time in the news. We read about other countries where voters went out and the party in charge saw a massive loss at the polls, and it was a win for the country. The hope that those elections gave them is what they took to continue to fight back against the dictators. That is us right now. And that is a bummer to think about. Maybe we never really imagined that that would be us one day, but that is us right now. Other countries are watching this election. Donald Trump was really bad the first time, but he is inarguably worse this time. And this is the first really big election that we get to show the world that just because he represents us, it doesn't mean that he represents us. He is not the sun. He's just some guy. He's a rich dude that doesn't even know how to buy suits that fit him well. This is the first big election. And tonight we're going to see some really big results. I'm going to have those for you in tomorrow morning's episode. But that's tomorrow. Right now is for voting. Nothing is decided until voters decide it. Go vote. It'll make you feel strong and powerful. And that's it. That's the news. It's election day in America. It is a day of possibility. Fill out your ballot and then come back here tomorrow for as many results as there are available. We're in this together. And because it's you and me, the amount of relief that that gives me to know that the me and you includes you, it gives me like so much relief. My cup runneth over. Could not be more relieved if I tried. I'm the opposite of deficient. And because of that, I'm proud of you.